Alright guys, Aaron Kirchner here, professional angler. I'm with Hobie Kayaks and the new anchorage out of Lyons, Colorado. I want to talk to you today about mounting your fish finder, your GPS units or whatever you want to put onto your kayaks. There's 1,000 different ways to do it. There's 2 ways a lot of guys will do it on the Pro Angler that I fish out of. I'm going to talk to you about the way I hook mine up. You can hook yours up however you want to do it, according to how you fish. I'll show you how I do mine and why I do it that way. But anyhow, so I have this Lowrance unit here. The way I mount mine, let me move my cell phone out of the way. That's pretty. The way I mount mine is right here to this sideboard here that Hobie put these on on the Hobie Pro Anglers and stuff, so that you can actually mount stuff to that without really having to drill holes into the boat. When I started kayak fishing and stuff, I mean, you were drilling holes in the boats and mounting stuff, putting marine goop and sealing all your holes back up if you moved stuff, rod holders, GPS, all that stuff. So I'll show you how I have mine and why I have it that way. A lot of guys will mount theirs here on the Hobie Pro Anglers. They'll mount it to this pole right here, which is right next to the it's right next to the seat. Okay, nothing wrong with that. A lot of guys do that because most of the time in the kayak you're out sitting down, especially if you're out on the ocean. If you're going to be doing a lot of ocean fishing, you don't want to stand up too much unless you're horsing in a huge fish or something. You know, you're gonna risk falling out of the boat if you stand up too much. But with that said, I'm a bass fisherman. I gotta stand up a lot to do a lot of casting, a lot of flipping and pitching. You know, accuracy is key sometimes for me, and I can't do that sitting down. So, and then you know, and so this is why I mount my GPS unit the way I mount it. I put mine up here on this blackboard. So for let's see, where's it at? I'm trying to shoot this video by myself, and it's really difficult. So I gotta get, maybe if I made some kind of electronic or a robot that could just videotape me, because I work on the weekends and most of my friends are off, and then when I'm off they're working. So a lot of what do we call loner fishing, loner, whatever. But anyway, let's get back to talking about the GPS, not about my social life. How about that? I mount mine here for this reason. When I'm sitting down, I can take, and I have it on the ram mount, and the reason I do that is because, like a lot of guys, you put it on the ram mount, you can move it around however you want to do it. When I'm sitting down, I'll move it, I gotta loosen it up some more, I'll move it over this way, and so that it's closer to me, it's forward. Now when I'm sitting in the seat, I can reach up, I can access my buttons, everything that I need to access, it's there. The reason I don't mount it on this side pole over here is because when you stand up, it's over here sitting next to you. So when you stand up, now you've lost access and lost use of your electronics. And for me, my electronics are key a lot of times. I mean, if the water's muddy and I might think I'm fishing 4 feet, you know, a 4-foot bank or something, and I'm actually fishing I'm sitting over top of 18 feet of water, and then, you know, I mean, you just don't know. You just don't know. And so that's why it's pertinent that I, as a bass fisherman, can use my electronics a lot. I mean, I use my kayak to go out and practice techniques that I'll use out on my big boat. I do that because it saves me money on gas, saves me money, it just saves me a ton of money on everything, you know, and it gets good exercise. But again, enough about me. Let's talk about this. Electronics. And so now when I stand up to start fishing, if I'm going to do accuracy casting, or, you know, presentation has to be much more subtle than just sitting down and flinging the lure out there. I put mine on the blackboard because then when I stand up, I can actually move my ram mount, and there's different ram mounts. You can actually get some that are a little bit longer. This is the one I use here, but you can now tighten this dude down here. Oops, I'm loosening it. It's going to fall off. But tighten this thing down, and now when I'm standing up, I can actually be casting, looking down at my electronics. I haven't lost any access. Hey, look at there. There's my 5-year-old. I'm gonna squish his head. Hunter, what? Say hi to the camera. Hi. Look I'm squishing your head. Stop moving. I gotta squish your head in the camera. Anyway, see, I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you my kids. I'm going to show you my... I did a video. Me and my wife were singing in the bathroom. Tile has good acoustics. So, going back to the electronics, that's how I mount mine, just so that I have access to it all the time. If I stand up, if I sit down, you know, if I fall out of the boat, I can grab that thing and pull myself back in. Not really, I don't suggest that. I don't suggest falling out of the boat, actually. But it's there, that's how I do it. And now, talking about installing it there, there's several ways to do that. The Pro Angler over here actually has a hole right here, if you can see that. This is for, there's a sail mount that you can use. You can buy a sail from Hobie and use a sail, you know, and instead of pedaling the whole time or using your oars, you know, paddling and pedaling. But they've got that. You can actually put all your battery and everything down inside the port right here, the front hatch here. It's a lot of room, and then you'll have your gearbox that goes in front of there, so it actually protects your battery, protects your wires, a lot of stuff that you know you put down in there. So you can put all that stuff in there, run your wire out the top of here, out the top and across here, and hook it to your unit. I don't like to do that because there's exposed wires now, and you know, when I stand up or if I'm, you know, flipping and pitching and stuff, sometimes my lure might get hooked on those wires. So what I tend to do is this. What I did is this. Down inside here, I'm going to take the camera right here. Right here is where the sail mount kind of hooks to, and it goes up there. I would put my sonar right there. You glue it in. You glue your sonar in, and then you'll drill 2 holes to do it the way I do it. And that's just, I do it this way because it's clean. Not a ton of exposed wires, and that's the way it needs to be when you're out fishing. So your 2 holes, your first hole is going to be right here on the side of the boat, on the inside of the boat, right there. You're going to want to use a 1-inch drill bit, like a paddle bit, to do that, because the end right here of your attachment for your fish finder, it's like 3/4 and a little bit bigger, and it won't fit through you know, that 3/4 hole. So you're going to want to use a 1-inch bit, and then you get yourself a little rubber grommet to put in there to make it pretty. Now your second hole from there, so that's coming out the side of the boat, a little 1-inch hole right there, and then your wires can come out of there, and then your second hole is actually going to be right there, if you guys can see that, right behind the GPS unit. Now your wires come from inside the boat up through there, and then you can attach them, you know, to the back of the unit. And so very clean, very pretty, if pretty is what you're going for. I go for pretty. Look at my hair, it's so pretty. But that's how you do it. Like I said, there's a million ways to do it. That's how I do it for myself, because I do a lot of stand-up fishing. I'm a bass fisherman, been bass fishing for 18 years, and you're standing all day, you know. And even in this kayak you can do that. It's very easy to do. One thing I want to mention real quick while I'm talking about this is the actual mounting of the sonar unit. I'm going to move out of the sunshine here. The sonar unit, I've been using marine goop from the boat stores and stuff like that, and it works. You'll take your sonar unit and you'll smash it down into that marine goop and rub it around, and so that there's no air bubbles in there. The problem you have, though, and I talked to the guys at Lawrence at my last tournament. So these guys are the sonar, they're the fish finder guys. They created these things, they make these things, they're the guys to talk to. And what they said is the problem with the marine goop and doing a through hole mount, so meaning the sonar will actually shoot that beam down through the hull of the boat. So the problem with that is that the chemicals or the way, once it's set, that the sonar unit will actually start bouncing off of the rubber or the silicone that you're using to install the sonar portion there, and then you get a lot of feedback on the top. So your top or your surface line when you're reading your unit there is actually really black, and it's black down to about 5 feet, and it's really hard to read. It's hard to see fish. And so what they said is this: get a 2-part epoxy. Be very careful, because once you put this thing in, it is in. That 2-part epoxy, it sets like a hard plastic. Now it shoots through the hole. It sees just clear. You can put it in the boat. It's going to work great. You're not going to have all that feedback and stuff. But like I said, be careful, because when you're rocking it in there, you got to make sure there's no air bubbles in there. Because if you get air bubbles, and like I said, that thing is in there, you're going to have this just a line. you know, or whatever it is, and it's going to be hard to read, but that's going to be an air bubble that your sonar unit is bouncing off. So anyway, a lot to talk about for a little bit of something here, you know, mounting your GPS units and stuff. But it's very important, you know, to have a GPS unit, or not GPS, a fish finder. You can have fish finders with GPS, and that's great to have too. Now you can actually mark waypoints as you're out fishing. But you know, get out here, get in your kayaks, mount your stuff on there, make it, you know, this right here, if you guys can see that. This is my that's my bass boat. Okay, that's my off-duty bass boat when I'm not fishing the big tournaments and stuff, because this thing is free. It's free to fish, no gas, no, you know, other than putting electronics on it and getting myself out there. It's great exercise. I stay fit. You know, this still here you pedal with your feet. So good exercise for my legs, you know, my back muscles, all that stuff. And then I take that, and when I'm out fishing in a normal boat and I'm just standing there in that big, you know, using a trolling motor, I mean, I can go all day and it's not a problem. You know, I'm not sore, I'm not all jacked up. But anyway, my name's Aaron Kirchner from Aaron Kirchner Fishing. I'm with Hobie Kayaks. I'm on the Hobie fishing team, and the new anchorage out of Lyons, Colorado. Go to their website, check them out, thenewanchorage.com. Check out my YouTube videos, youtube.com/Aaron Kirchner Fishing, or my blog is aaronkirchnerfishing.blogspot.com. I wanted to do this. It's like a movie. Look at that. It's like The Matrix. Maybe I can try to slow it down and make it cool.